This is Kimberly Reuter, business advisor and supply chain expert. Mix us two up every now and then. It's all the same. Welcome to my podcast, The Morning Mood. I am excited that you're here. We have been progressing very nicely. As I keep mentioning, we got some good stuff coming up. I've been lining up some new guests. Today, I think, is my 30th episode. I've lost track, which is good, which means I'm focusing on the right things. But I think this is number 30, which is kind of exciting. 30 days of the thoughts in my head. I had a moment of panic where I thought I might run out of thoughts. I don't think that's going to happen. So anyway, today I want to share with you a lesson I learned many years ago, which completely changed the trajectory of my life. It is one of the top lessons I've learned. I've been interviewing people in the greatest lessons I've learned. It's definitely one of my top. It was the top for a long time. And I have had to learn this lesson over and over again, multiple times throughout my life. And it applies to multiple aspects of our lives. It applies to everything in our life, really. But today we're going to focus on how I learned it and how I applied it, and specifically this application. So here's a scenario. I'm living in Annapolis, Maryland. I'm working for a company at the time that was called Vastera. It was a customs compliance software, one of the first. One of the first IPOs came out in the 90s, the Western Virginia IPO corridor, the startup corridor. They called it the Ruston bubble for a while. And that was kind of the original startup bubble. There was another one that happened in the 2000s, but the original one happened in the 90s, and it actually happened in Western Virginia. And that had a lot to do around government contracting and things like that. But this company, Vastera, had made it to $1 billion, which is, an achievement for a startup. That's not where you stop. You keep going. And UPS was one of their clients, one of their first big clients. And they were one of the first companies that did any sort of like import and export compliance software. So hooking up things like the databases for HTSs and all that 20 years ago was a big freaking deal. Like even getting access, digitized access to HTS data was a big deal back then. So I'm working for this company. I don't really know anything about working in the technology. That's the funny thing here, is that I had come straight out of being a customs broker. I had gotten hired into Vastera because one of the Vastera clients, Black & Decker, was also my client as a broker, as a customs broker. And so when I was ready to get at a brokerage, Vastera was there to offer me a job. But I had no idea about running technology, building technology, managing, no damn idea about technology, none. But I got this job as a product manager for their import software. So I did new imports. This is where I learned software. I learned technology, was from this little company in Dulles, Virginia. So I'm there. We all trying desperately to position ourselves well because we're trying to be sold. We're getting sold. The company is being sold. It's going to go bankrupt. We need somebody to either heavily invest or buy us. And as it turns out, JP Morgan is courting us and looking at buying the company. I have no idea. To this day, I really don't understand what that deal was about, but it saved the company. So thank you, JP Morgan. So we're really busy trying to get the book, right? The sales pipeline nice and fluffy and full. We're trying to get the book of sales nice and fat. We're trying to look attractive for purchase. So there's this big effort around, we're doing conferences, we're prepping the sales guys, like this is big marketing and sales force happening in order to position the company the best way possible. So I get called in to do a presentation about what our software does, our import software does. Now, keep in mind, I have never done any sort of professional presentation at all. And I think I shared with some of you, or you may have heard it in another podcast. I started working when I was 15 and a half. I know I was 15 and a half because I had my learner's permit, didn't have my driver's license, and my mom had to drive me to work. on the weekends until I got my driver's license, which did not last long because she did not want to drive my ass to work. So, but when I started my job at 15 and a half, my first job ever, I worked in the Yorktown Victory Center Museum. And I was a kind of a tour guide, the lobby. I gave a little tour on the lobby and talked about the Revolutionary history. So that was my first professional, I guess it was professional. I was getting paid professional speaking. So when I was a kid, I started professional speaking. But up until this point, I'd really never done like actually any like presentations. And so I'm working on this presentation at Vestera to explain to these sales guys what our import software does and why they need to sell it. So I've been at it for a while. Now, I don't know anything about being a product manager. I don't know anything about managing technology at this point. I probably have like a year of technology management under me at this point. And so I'm just grinding away on this presentation. It's like forever long. And so finally, the vice president of marketing, a gentleman by the name of Bruce, who has been very influential in my life, he's one of the first people who tried to get me to stop cussing. Bruce has always not been successful. Mostly, he's a very successful man. On this front, it did not work. But Bruce, I did slow down, and I appreciate you trying to get me to stop cussing. I tried. Okay, so Bruce is the vice president of marketing at this company, and he has been brought in specifically. This happens to be one of his specialties to position the company for sale, right? To make us look the best. So I take this presentation to actually email the presentation to Bruce so that he can see it before we meet. He immediately emails it back. He's like, I have so many questions. When can we talk? And I'm like, so many questions. I've been working on this thing for like a month. What kind of questions do you have? So I go to meet with Bruce in his office, and he has my presentation, and he has generously marked it up with a red pen. Or I think he used red pencil is what he used. And this is back in the day, guys, when we still used a lot of paper, so don't panic. And he had gone through my presentation and pretty much murdered it. And I was very young in my career, and this was terrifying and insulting at the same time. I don't know how to explain it. So he has all these questions, and he's like, what does this mean? And what does this mean? What does this mean? And what's this term mean? And how does that work? And how does that impact the customer? And what about that? And he has all this. And to me, the person who wrote the presentation and a compliance expert, even then, by that point, I've been doing it for about 15 years. I was like, why are you asking me all these stupid questions? Everybody knows what a BL is. Everybody knows what an IOR is. Everybody knows what this stuff is. Like, why, if I got to tell these people, it doesn't gonna work. And Bruce, bless him, probably one of the most patient people I've ever met in my life, says, Kim, but I don't understand. And I'm the vice president of marketing. And if I don't understand, how do you think the sales guys are going to understand this? And still, I'm kind of doubling down on my position, right? Because I'm like, well, then maybe they should be the sales guys for the software if I got to break it down. And Bruce, as I just mentioned, I just want to mention it one more time, so patient. So Bruce says, well, Kim, in order for them to sell it, they need to be able to understand it. And since you understand it best, and you're clearly an expert in this space, you're the best person to explain it to them and teach them. Your job really here is to teach them, Kim. Teach them so that they can sell it. And still, I'm kind of confused. I'm like, I don't know what you're trying to tell me here. It's just, I don't know. I'm kind of shutting down. I'm really not ready to hear this. I'm not really good at taking criticism at this point in my life. But Bruce, that man, he walked me through it. And he said, all right. Well, let's start here. Okay, tell me what this term means. And I can't remember what the terms were. Tell me what this means. Tell me what that means. Tell me what this means. And I was starting to get really frustrated because, again, like I mentioned, I wasn't really good at taking criticism back then. I wasn't really comfortable with I don't know at the moment. So I'm getting frustrated. I'm getting upset. I've been working on this presentation for a month. I don't understand what this man is trying to tell me. And so finally he says this to me. He goes, Kim, I want you to take this presentation and I want you to work on it over the next day or so. I want to see it by Friday. I think this was on Wednesday. And I want you to rewrite this. Immediately, I'm like, oh, you got to be effing kidding. You want me to fucking rewrite this thing? Okay, so we got past that. Again, Bruce did not like cussing, so there's a little lecture on the cussing there. And then he said, listen to me. I want you to rewrite this, but I want you to rewrite it as if you were explaining it to someone who had never seen this before, who didn't know anything about importing at all. I want you to rewrite this like you were talking to a 5-year-old. This is where I first learned the 5-year-old thing. I want you to rewrite this, and then I want you to explain it to me like I'm a 5-year-old. Like I don't know anything, okay? And so I was pretty frustrated with it, right? And I was kind of mad because I'd really worked on this, but I did it. And I went back and I'm like, all right, fool, you want me to talk to you like a 5-year-old? Here we go. So I rewrote the presentation in more of like talking to a 5-year-old, like somebody who didn't know anything about the industry. And I gotta say, it got better because it may have started to make sense. So I go back on Friday, I take it to Bruce. I'm like, blah, 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 blah. Here we go. Guess what? Still not good enough. That's right. On a Friday, I'm about ready to come out my seat because I'm like, you got to be kidding me with this. Still not good enough. All right. But it was better. And he goes, but Kim, it's better. I understand more about what it is. I get it. Like I understand these terms. I understand what it does. I get it. It's actually a real big improvement. Don't be so hard on yourself. And this is something I hear a lot all my life. I still hear it today from Billy, my man. He says, don't be so hard on yourself all the time to me. I'm very hard on myself. So anyway, so Bruce Lee, don't be so hard on yourself. It's a big improvement. Like I understand what it is now. He goes, but here's the problem. I don't understand if it's any good, why I need it, what's the benefit of it. I get what it does, but I don't understand what the benefit of it is. And so this is when I got introduced to thought, process, example, alliteration, metaphor, I don't know what you call it, number 2. So number 1 was talk to me like I'm a 5-year-old. That was number 1. Number 2 was why? What's the benefit? And this is when I was introduced to the concept of a fab. Now, if you're old school marketing and sales, you probably have heard this term many, many times. A fab is a feature and benefit. And so what this does is it takes what you're explaining one step further, and it explains why you want it. Okay? So we'll use an example here. So there's this great new pill on the market. It's made of all organic herbs. They smell amazing. They taste amazing. It's this amazing organic new herb pill. You should take it. So what's the first thing you ask, right? Why? What's the pill do? Bing. There it is, my babes. Right there. What's the pill do? What's the software do? Is it going to help me lose weight? Is it going to make me more compliant? Is it going to move freight faster? Is it going to give me visibility? Is it going to reduce my cost? Like, what is it? What is the benefit? So this is when I got introduced to FAB, feature and benefit. So round 3 on the presentation, we go back. I go back. We didn't do shit. I went back, rewrote the presentation. And then here's what's really interesting as all of this is happening, is that, don't you dare zoom out on me. Anyway, so round 3 on this presentation, and I go back, and what's interesting about this presentation is it kept getting shorter, not longer. And that's also a very good lesson learned there too. So the message was getting more crystallized. It was getting shorter. It's getting more condensed. which is exactly what you want to do. So round 3, come back with some fabs, and the presentation's starting to look pretty fabulous, right? It's starting to actually make sense. Bruce is getting it, and if Bruce can get it, anybody can get it. Bruce is getting it. We run it by a couple of the marketing people and the team. They're getting it. They got some tweaks. Round 4, we got a presentation that's actually working. And here's what I learned out of that. And here's what I have taken forward in every presentation, every communication I have had since that lesson learned with Bruce. It is this. What does the audience need to know? Repeat that. What does the audience need to know? Not what do you know, not what you want to know, not what you think they know, not anything about me at all. None. 0. Even though I'm the person giving the presentation, I'm the person standing up there. But here's the thing. It's not about me. It never was. It's about them. It's about the audience. It's about the team. It's about the customer. It's about out there, not in here. It's about them. It's not about me. And every presentation, every executive communication I have had since then, every single one, all the way up to the big B, that is the lens I have looked through and have written and presented with. What does he need to know? What does she need to know? What are they concerned about? What's going to be their biggest question? How can I address that immediately for them? How can I make them feel comfortable? How can I make them feel safe? How can I communicate to them in a way that they understand? That's the other thing that Bruce taught me. You have to communicate in their language. Their language, not your language, not your stupid freaking logistics lingo that you made up or all your bros use or your team created all this special, glam terminology because, that's what you're all about. The easiest way to get your idea communicated to other people, the easiest way to get your thoughts across are to communicate in their language in terms that they understand, which means that you have to really understand it because you got to explain it several different ways. Okay. So that means you really have to have your shit together. Communicate to them in the language that they understand and communicate to them on the things that they are concerned about. How does it impact them? What is the benefit to them? All about the feature and the benefit. And the minute you put that lens on any presentation that you're doing, every keynote that I do, every event that I MC, every panel that I lead, I'm thinking about them. What does my audience need? How can I help them? When you put that lens on your presentation, when you put that lens on your sales pitch, when you put that lens on how you present in your organization, everything will change for you. It is a life-changing lesson. Thank you, Bruce. I hope to have Bruce on an episode here. He's amazing, and I would not have gotten where I am today if he had not taught me that lesson. And I fought it hard, but he was patient. Thank you, Bruce. I appreciate it. You changed my life. So hopefully, Bruce can also change your life. It's not about you, babes. It's about them. That's all I got for you today. Have a great day. Thank you. I appreciate you. And we will talk soon.